Hi, I'm Dylan Magaster, and this is my van Gladys. She's a 1992 Chevy G20. I've been living in my van for a little over a year. I bought Gladys on June 6th of 2016 and lived in and out of her for about 2 months and then drove her back to Kansas, which is where I'm from. Spent the month of August of last year building out the interior, and then I've been on the road full time since September of last year. Welcome to Gladys. This is the van. This that I'm sitting on right now is my brand new refrigerator, which Forrest so nicely let me ship to his place, and I just now got to pick up, so it's not hooked up yet, but it's gonna go in this area, which is all currently under construction. This is the guest chair, or the lounge chair, or the lazy boy. It flips around, goes both ways, which is very nice for being able to drive as well as being able to lounge. Opens up the space a lot, because if it was flipped the other way, it basically puts a wall right here, but that opens it up, and so now it's like a proper living room. Even have a nice equipped with a fireplace. This is my catch-all box, which has a bunch of stuff in it right now. I can carry 7.5 gallons of water between the 5-gallon down there, and this is 2.5 up here. My stove is mounted here, and I've got down here gallon of propane, which allows for approximately 3 months of cooking 2 meals a day on this. Cabinets with all the foodstuffs and different stuff. All home built. This is the first cabinet I've ever made, which is why it looks terrible. This is the second cabinet I've ever made, which is why it looks beautiful, because I learned a lot. This countertop here is spalted maple, courtesy of a guy in Kansas who I forgot his name. Sorry, man. This here is the bed. Yeah, it's got a proper full-size, king-size bed, which is neither full-size nor king-size, but it does allow me to sleep diagonally. It also sets up into a couch, if you so desire, for whenever we're all partying in here and we want to just lounge around and chat. Shabam. That's a proper couch. So that's what this is for, which is always a common question. Why do you have a pink strap hanging from your ceiling? That seems weird. That's what it's for. Has other uses as well. Other than that, I got storage under here. I've got 2 house batteries down here. That gives me 200 amp hour battery bank coming off of 200 watts of solar. Runs my fan, my lights, my fridge, the plug, and these as well. My USB, charge my phone, my headphones, fire extinguisher for safety purposes. Then I've got clothing under here as well as other stuff. This right here is just kind of where I've been stuffing puffies, and it works well. This is the only pillow that I have. It came with the van. I had to do a little bit of repairs to it, as you can tell. I'm pretty much the best sewer. You know, I'm a proper seamstress. You can also see my lovely patch jobs on the cushions. You know, if you want to hire me, you can contact me at business@dylanmagaster.com. I do freelance sewing if you're interested. I'm quite pricey though. This is the world. It's my trash can, and so from back here, this is the garage. Spare tire, backup camera. That's a necessity. I got that after I backed into a few different people. Let's see. There's a crash pad back there. Just bought a brand new rope. Tripods. That's a crashed drone. Snowboards over here, ice axe if you need it, camping stuff, and laundry soap, because gotta stay clean. Blackout curtains for privacy, and Ganesha because he's fabulous. This is the cockpit. It's got 90,777 miles on it, and I average 16 miles to the gallon. This is my one and only mug, which also serves as a wine glass at times. So we've got 200 watts of solar up here, courtesy of Renogy. Not really courtesy, I mean kind of courtesy. They didn't give them to me, I bought them. And then a light bar and a fan. That concludes my roof accessories. I've been living in my van for a little over a year. I bought Gladys on June 6th of 2016 and lived in and out of her for about 2 months, and then drove her back to Kansas, which is where I'm from. Spent the month of August of last year building out the interior, and then I've been on the road full time since September of last year. Previous to living in the van, I'd been backpacking for like 6 months about, and previous to that I'd been traveling frequently, just road trips and whatnot, and a few flights here and there. And I was in South America backpacking. I flew back to the US. I did a bit of backpacking in the US, and I was out of money, but I knew I wasn't going to stop traveling, and I also didn't have a job, so I had no potential to make money. So I bought a van because it seemed like the most reasonable option to keep doing what I wanted to do. And it was really kind of the only option that allowed me to keep moving very cheaply.
So a lot of people, when they get into van life, it seems like they're downgrading their size and they're minimalizing a lot of things. But for you, it seems like you went from backpacking to van life.
Yeah, van life for me was kind of an upgrade in travel, which was dope. Because I was backpacking for a while, and living out of a backpack is fun and all, but for me it got kind of tiring after a couple months, 3 months maybe, and then it was like, wow, I kind of don't want to live out of a backpack right now. And so for me, moving up into the van was like luxury. It's like now I actually have a space where I can carry stuff that I don't have to put on my back. I have a refrigerator that I can put food in, and I can cook and all that kind of stuff. It really stepped it. I can carry 7.5 gallons of water. It's like all that stuff really increased my standard of living.
But it is still somewhat limiting in a lot of ways. So do you ever find that you feel limited, or?
Yeah, there's some limitations and downsides to van life. A big one is like they can't stand up, so that's limiting because you know, whenever it's raining or cold out and you don't want to go outside because it's like nasty weather, but you want to be active, it makes it really difficult because you can't even stretch really. I can't do yoga in my house, that's annoying. So the space is definitely a big limitation. For me personally, the moving around a lot can be limiting because it makes it like really difficult to create any sort of routine because you're constantly in new places, and that can be difficult, mentally taxing at points. But other than that, no bathroom is a thing, but it's not that big of a deal. I mean, for guys, you just use a pee bottle whenever you need to, and then you just time whenever you have to poop. And it's like not that hard. And surprisingly, toilets are in abundance in the Western world, and very easy to find. The other limiting factor, I guess, is showers, but showers are easy to come by, whether it's like a river, lake, pool, not really a pool, friend's house, or, I mean, they just kind of like come and go. And I mean, I've gone decent amounts of time without showering, but it's not that big of a deal. I live by myself.
So how do you find making a living on the road?
For me, I make money via mainly my YouTube channel. So I've got a YouTube channel where I make short documentaries about alternative styles of living, like what I do. Tiny houses, van dwellings, off-grid, on-grid, buses, airplanes, boats, all that kind of stuff. And that provides me with income between the ad rev that comes from the amount of views I get, and then also also the brand integrations, as well as some other side stream incomes that allows me to live location independent. But I know a lot of people that do it, whether they've started an online business and gotten it to a point to where they're completely location independent via like 4-hour work week type of hacks. I also know people that have just like talked to where they currently were working at and were just like, hey, I'm gonna quit and I'm gonna go do this, and they're like, how about you don't quit and you just do that while you're doing that? And they're like, sweet, so I can keep my job and do whatever I want. And it's like, that works great. And then I know other people that just like negotiate it with their boss, and other people that just do seasonal labor. Would I recommend van life to people? It depends on the person, and it obviously just depends on the situation. What's the person trying to do with their life? Like, why are they wanting to get into their life? I generally recommend travel to everybody, because I think there's a lot of things that traveling can teach you that aren't necessarily easily learned without travel. Not that you have to travel to get these life lessons. You can definitely learn them other ways, but I feel like traveling and life on the road is kind of a crash course in life. To me, it seems like 1 year on the road, as far as personal growth, is kind of equal to like 5 years stationary. And I don't really know why that is. That's just what seems to be happening. And so that I definitely recommend. But the whole living in a van thing is really depends on the person and how resilient are they. I mean, it's not an easy lifestyle by any stretch of the imagination. That's why a lot of people do it, because it's hard, and it makes it more fun. It's just kind of like, try it out, see if it's for you. If it's not, I mean, it's pretty low barrier of entry. You could do it for, you could get a van for less than $1,000 if you really wanted to, and just see what it's like. If you go in and you don't like it, then you sell the van, and then maybe you're out like $1,000, $2,000 for a month, 2 months of your life, but it's an experience. It's totally worth trying out, I think.
Hey everyone, it's Forrest the filmmaker here. Just wanted to let you guys know that I will be releasing a video on Thursday about Oak Creek Outdoor Supplies hammock tent. It's a great accessory for any outdoor enthusiast, and I also share my experience of living in a hammock tent for 2 months. Thanks guys for watching, and stay tuned.